Indianapolis. Shortly after the NFL world learned several football-related measurable for Kyler Murray, Redskins head coach Jay Gruden and Senior Vice President of Player Personnel Doug Williams held separate press conferences Thursday morning. The topic of the Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback's physical stature came up, as did Washington's obvious need for help under center with Alex Smith's injury. These were hardly the only matters discussed or the only folks chatting. Gruden and Williams combined spoke for around 45 minutes inside a conference room at the downtown JW Marriott, blocks away from the Indiana Convention Center and Lucas Oil Stadium, the primary locations for the 2019 NFL Combine. Thursday also marked the first day prospects held their own press conferences. From those events came the following: There's more to consider with the Redskins re-signing Adrian Peterson beyond contractual terms. Washington reportedly began talks with a future Hall of Fame and the team's leading rusher from last season. Peterson's addition after Darius Juice's season-ending knee injury during the preseason helped save the campaign offensively until those quarterback injuries took everyone down. The concept of pairing those two leadbacks with passing down threat Chris Thompson offers great appeal. Now let's address the concern. The Redskins typically keep only 3 backs on the game day roster, and one of those players lines up on special teams. None of those guys do that. Thompson and Peterson combined for 2 special team snaps last season. Washington would be crazy to expose Juice. Jay, thoughts? That's a great question, and that's something you have to figure out on game day if everything works out, the head coach said. If all 3 are healthy and we have them all on the roster, this is a situation we're kind of guessing on. You'd like one of your backs to be able to participate on special teams some way, somehow. Considering Juice is coming off a torn ACL and has never played a regular season NFL game, having a viable secondary option makes sense. That doesn't mean that person is Peterson, who turns 34 in March. Washington could always decide we'll figure out special teams from other positions. Gruden and Williams rolled out similar laundry lists of roster holes beyond quarterback, safety, inside linebacker, edge rusher, guard, wide receiver. You might be nodding along because those are the need areas. That those two agree is important because outside opinions do not always match internal thinking. Safety is a major priority for us, Gruden said as he began ticking off positional weaknesses. Inside linebacker is an issue. Pass rusher with Preston Smith being a free agent is obviously a priority for us without a doubt. Offensive lineman, we already know that's a priority. We know quarterback's an issue, we know receiver is an issue, so we need to upgrade our entire roster. We're going to add players to every position, add competition. That's what's going to make us good. Gruden specifically mentioned adding a bigger receiver to the mix to join speed threat Paul Richardson. Slot receiver Jamison Crowder is another free agent. Washington arguably needs 2 starting safeties. Williams said the team would re-evaluate free agent Clinton Dix now that there are new members of the coaching staff. The Redskins need a left guard. We know this. Times over the last 2 seasons, it's been unclear if the Redskins agreed, considering they did little to address the positional hole other than to keep trotting out injury-prone Sean Laval. That changed Thursday. When asked, Williams said he did not believe a starter existed on the roster. Washington remains in limbo concerning ILB Reuben Foster's future, Gruden said, as the team is yet to hear from the league on whether any disciplinary actions are forthcoming. That these needs exist is why Williams pushed back somewhat on any idea of the Redskins trading away draft selections in pursuit of a quarterback. We've got a lot more needs on this football team than to say we can give up 2 or 3 picks and pick one guy and think we're going to have the football team that we hope to have, Williams said. We have to use our picks wisely and make sure we've got guys who are coming here that can help us build this football team a lot better than it is. Washington's dicey salary cap scenario, ranked 23rd in the league with $16.7 million available, means finding ways to create more room. Among them, extending Pro Bowl right guard and 2020 free agent Brandon Scherff. The maneuver would free more space and lock in one of the team's top players. "I don't know if anybody understands the effect he has on our team when he's not playing," Gruden said of Scherff, who suffered a torn pectoral midway through last season. "So he's definitely a priority. We'll get it done." For all the hype over 40 times, bench reps and passing drills, the interview process is a crucial element of the combine process as teams receive a close-up look at the person, not just the player. Dozens of these interactions will occur, so no single meeting automatically means draft day interest. That said, the Redskins did meet with a pair of projected top 20 selections in offensive linemen Cody Ford, Oklahoma, and Juwan Taylor, Florida. Both played tackle in college, but teams are primarily viewing Ford at guard. Taylor said he wasn't sure of the Redskins' thoughts, but he was aware that tackle is not a priority. Other players that have met with the Redskins to date include Northern Illinois OT Max Sharping, Washington State running back James Williams, and Alabama State OT Titus Howard. Mississippi OT Greg Little, a potential first-round pick, said he has not met with the Redskins. Same with a pair of Penn State prospects, running back Miles Sanders and offensive lineman Connor McGovern. Another media availability comes Friday morning with team president Bruce Allen. More Redskins news. Alex Smith's contract is going to take up a $20 million chunk of the Redskins' salary cap this offseason, and there's not much the team can do about it either. "You just have to bite the bullet," ex-NFL agent and cap expert Joel Corey said while on Redskins Talk at the Combine. Currently, Washington has just $17 million freed up to spend on free agents and draft picks. That's a lot of money in a lot of areas of life, but when it comes to pro football, that's a tiny budget. However, Corey explained in his interview how Washington can get to $35, $40 million by making a bunch of moves with their own players. Here are the precise steps he laid out that could create that much-needed breathing room for the burgundy and gold. Players to cut. Zach Brown, the linebacker, signed a 3-year contract last year but wasn't nearly as productive in his second season as a Redskin as he was in his first. Letting him go would give the Skins $5.75 million more to use. Stacey McGee only played 8 games in 2018, and Washington's defensive line is now its best unit thanks with younger talent. If they were to drop McGee, they'd save $2.275 million. Possible restructuring. The savings above are something the franchise has total control over. Restructuring, on the other hand, requires the players to cooperate. With that being said, Corey sees the following as viable options. Vernon Davis, a 35-year-old high-priced tight end, is a little bit of a luxury, Corey said. Try to get him to take a pay cut. Changing up Davis's contract could provide a few million more to work with. And if you have to just part ways, that's $5 million in savings. Ryan Kerrigan or Trent Williams, Corey suggests approaching both of these well-established veterans, but not for a pay cut. Instead, he'd advise the Redskins to convert their salary to signing bonus. Doing that with one or the other would open up roughly $5 million. Josh Norman, here's one that Corey acknowledges is unlikely but still worth investigating. Norman will make $14.5 million in 2019. Would he be willing to accept a little less? Contract extension. Brandon Scherff. There's one more way you can get cap room, Corey said, before bringing up the idea of extending the 2015 first-round pick. The longer you wait to sign a Pro Bowl caliber player, he continued, it's going to cost you more in the long run. You can conceivably, depending upon how you structure, pick up $7.5 million doing that. You're going to chop the base salary down, make it a signing bonus. You can pick up significant cap room, add it all up and... So, let's say Brown and McGee are released, Davis restructures, Kerrigan or Williams does the same and Scherff gets extended. If those happen, the Skins would find themselves with roughly an additional $23 million, which gets them up to the $40 million Corey referenced. That would go up, too, if Davis is cut or Norman accepts a pay cut. The lesson is, the situation looks dire now, but it can be improved. Their wallets should be a bit thicker, and could be a lot thicker, by the team free agency rolls around. More Redskins news. Still feeling annoyed with Kirk Cousins for leaving last offseason? Upset about how Bryce Harper just abandoned DC? Hey, you're not alone. But if you're looking for a chance to distress and get over Cousins and Harper with some healthy boosts, then 2019 is the year for you. The Nats will face off against the Phillies 19 times this upcoming season, with more than half of them taking place in Nationals territory. That's 10 chances for you to let Harper know about your displeasure during every single at-bat. The outfielder returns to Nats Park on Tuesday, April 2nd for a quick 2-game series. After that, he returns for a 4-game set starting on June 17th. For the full schedule, click here. As for Cousins, there isn't really anyone to blame but the Skins themselves. Washington didn't even really have an offer for the quarterback, making his saga arguably more annoying. With that being said, you still have a right to be salty with him, and you have a chance to see him in person this year, too. As long as you're willing to travel, that is. The NFL schedule isn't out yet, but the Redskins will head to Minnesota at some point to see Cousins and the Vikings. So, just be ready to book some plane tickets once the order of games is officially released, which should be sometime in the spring. DC fans, both of these stars tormented you with never-ending negotiations that ended with them heading elsewhere. The least you could do is make sure you're there for both of their initial showdowns with the franchises they left, and let them know how much you, well, miss them. More Redskins news.